Okay, welcome. I'm Pat Soldano, President of Family Enterprise USA and President of Policy and Taxation Group. And I have with me today Russ Sullivan, who is an attorney with the Brownstein Law Firm in Washington, D.C. We're going to talk to you today about pass-through and small business legislation that's possible under the Trump versus the Biden tax policy. So we're doing a series of short webinars comparing the tax policies of both the President Trump and former Vice President Biden. We've already posted a few of these videos on our website, and we've done one on individual and tax policy. So today we're going to take a look at their positions on pass-through entities and small business. Now, Russ, I haven't seen either candidate take a public position for S-corp reform or limited liability of partnership taxation. So does either have an extensive platform on pass-through tax policy, either from section 199A?
Well, Pat, you're right. They have not put out broad-based reform provisions on either S-corps or LLCs or partnerships. Their tax proposals on both sides have been focused principally on corporations and individuals. However, they both do have a position on 199 and some real estate and other industry sector proposals, and I think they're worth mentioning. The 199 deduction would probably the centerpiece of debate in 2021 on the taxation of pass-through businesses. For Trump, he was part of and crafted the current 20% deduction on qualified business income that is in effect and is in effect through 2025. But Trump and the Republicans want to extend that. They'd like to make it permanent. And so we will see an effort, if Republicans win the election, to try to make that provision permanent. Now, they're going to have some procedural hurdles in doing so because in the Senate, it still takes 60 votes. So they're either going to have to attract some Democratic votes, or they'll have to end the filibuster rule, or they can use some special procedures to extend it for a period of time with just 51 votes. But we'll see. Biden, on the other hand, has looked at the whole Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and said, I want to eliminate the benefits for anyone who got a tax cut if they're making more than $400,000 in income. So his campaign has said that they want to keep Section 199A and the 20% deduction for individuals under 400,000 in income, but eliminate it for those above. Well, now that's easier said than done. He hasn't specified what is he talking about on 400,000, single, head of household, or married. He hasn't talked about what income counts toward the cutoff. Is it a modified adjusted gross income? What do you do with the actual pass-through income that's part of that? And he hasn't said whether he wants to follow the general rules that are now applicable on 199A when you have multiple investors in one project and how they split up those profits for purposes of the computation. But in any event, there will be a battle on this, and it'll probably come initially in 2021 in a broad-based tax bill. If it doesn't happen in 2021, it certainly will toward the end of their term, the beginning of 2025.
So it sounds like both sides are for keeping Section 199A generally as it is for those earning under $400,000. But they diverge on those earning more, over $400,000. So how about real estate? I didn't see much enacted this year in the COVID response bills related to real estate. And we may very well have a commercial real estate crisis in this country as businesses decide to allow employees to work from home on a permanent basis, as many of them have been working from home on a temporary basis.
Yeah, you're right, Pat. And there was a lot of disappointment in the commercial real estate sector this year as they made many proposals to Congress on the ability to help tenants survive when they have trouble paying the rent, and cancellation of debt, income issues, deferring that. and a wide variety of other proposals, but Congress really didn't do much from the tax side. However, there may be reasons for that, and I certainly think the Democrats are reluctant to and careful that they don't look like they are providing some sort of tax cut that will personally benefit Donald Trump and he and his family's corporate businesses or his real estate empire. But both of them have now come out with some proposals that are important for pastors who are investing in real estate. For President Trump, he's focused on capital gains issues, trying to lower those rates. And a principal beneficiary would be the real estate sector. He's both proposed reducing the rate from 20 to 15, and he's talked about and supported perhaps indexing capital gains basis of assets for inflation for purposes of computing the capital gains tax. This is much broader than just real estate, but certainly would impact it. Biden, on the other hand, is going after one of the provisions that remained after TCJA. TCJA repealed the like-kind exchange rules, but not for real estate. And Biden wants to eliminate that deferral, which is used a great bit in the commercial real estate sector.
So that's very helpful, Russ, especially for our family businesses that own a significant amount of real estate or their real estate development companies. So what else should small businesses can be concerned about? What should they be aware of?
Well, there are a variety of other proposals that are out there. President Trump has touted the opportunity zone provisions that are in the TCJA that also affect capital gains tax, but also have encouraged significant investment in areas with high unemployment rates. Tim Scott from South Carolina has been the principal architect of the legislation, but the Trump administration implemented it. Former Vice President Biden has a few proposals. Some are not tax, but I think we should mention his support for the $15 minimum wage. I believe if Democrats sweep this election, there will be an increase in the federal minimum wage. I'm not sure whether it'll be to $15 and how fast it'll get there, but certainly an increase will pass. But he also has some other proposals, a 401k tax credit proposal for small businesses that opt into an automatic 401k for their workers. And so those could be a benefit to certain small businesses that are able to offer those plans for their employees.
Well, thanks very much, Russ. Really appreciate your input today. Next time, let's examine the corporate tax proposals of Trump and Biden. And I'm hoping that everyone that's viewing this webinar will be able to join us then. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.